fall colors. This red in here and the yellow behind. But yeah, this is the thuya hedge. It's really grown out. I'd love to round this top off, pull this in, so it doesn't look so tall. Beautiful, nice thick trunk. Got that little bear in there. Climbing. Had a someone visiting, not a bonsai person, and they saw this tree, and I've never seen a tree that, like a bonsai, that looks like an actual tree. And I thought, oh god, that's the win. So that was kind of fun to just have that spontaneous comment. But yeah, it's just coming along so nice. The repot this spring, spruce, unwired. It's got this funky, nice bend right at the base, and then it kind of goes straight here. So I'm thinking of actually topping it right there, make it a little short, dense tree, bring all these branches down. And I'm loving the spruce. They're so much nicer. I mean, I have quite a few Doug firs because there's so many in my area. So they're, you know, easier to collect. There's just lots of them. But they just, because I can't pinch them, and they have really extended long shoots, and needles are big with the Doug firs. And then I've got this this plight that's over all the Doug firs in my area, the native environment. So it's just, I don't know how to deal with it. It's this yellowy rust of some sort. So I might try to do some copper spraying. But yeah, the spruce are the ones, right? They're just so nice. It's a nice blue color as well. A little subalpine fir, yet to be wired, but it's growing really dense, really short, small needles. I mean, up here you're starting to get some bigger ones, but I think it's the container, and this one was stunted quite a bit. I had it indoors for a whole season. Can't believe it survived, but that was a few years back and still sort of stayed stunted. Subalpine fir. Hard to see that trunk, but there's just a beautiful dense bark. Like, you never get this on the subalpine fir. This dense bark, you never get this on the subalpine fir. It's all this white sort of really thin gray, I guess, bark, and so that's just something unique. That needs a prune and a rewiring, and needs to be all brought back. But yeah, it's looking really good. Look at the nice golden colors here. Oh, I love this tree. This one I have pitched a lot better. I've kept it, in this Norway, I've kept it more, the growth more in, and but this year I forgot to pinch. And so, yeah, no, this year I think I actually did pinch, you know. This might have been one of the trees that I pinched. It looks like it, just the way that's growing out. You guys sort of pinch the top of that one. But yeah, just this golden, beautiful golden color. Great sort of trunk, the side trunk here. I mean, this is obviously a little strange, but you know, it is what it is. No real root spread, no nabari to speak of, because these just come into the ground and there's kind of a hole in there. So I've covered it up with moss, and you know, so it's like that fake nabari. So you know, it really does lack a nabari, but just nice movement all the way through. Again, these Norway maples I have are just sort of more on that gnarly side. This is much more of a Walter Paul feel to them. This is one I recently styled, so you can see it's much more trimmed up. It's a Doug fir. Super hard to work with these species. I am less and less liking them, let's say. So many of them in the area, and so they're quite easy to find. You know, and this one has some amazing, unique movement. And I could manage to get this really flat, but I mean, this is, it's a bit tall. think it could be better shorter, but this is like about as good as it's ever gonna get. Yeah, so a little subalpine fir. Move that out of the way a little bit just so you can see it a little better, but not really. Fold that up there. And this one needs some work, but it's yeah, it's just got a nice trunk. Like I said, a lot of these trees I've just not been inspired lately. Hearing about the Nursery live kind of got me excited again. The new streaming back onto that. It was kind of like a re-inspiration for doing bonsai. And there's a bunch of like Bonsai Wire's got a bunch of podcasts, like they're just putting them out a bunch more, and so I need that sort of external motivation. I mean, this is a time where I could be doing a lot of work on the trees and I'm just not inspired, not on the time, not making the time for it. So yeah, it's nice. I used to have some benches down here and I've kind of cleaned it up a bit because it's just cluttered with bonsai. You can see you got a bunch sort of sitting over there and some sitting there, and I'll display them up, the ones that I think are worth looking at. So yeah, let's just start with this beautiful Norway maple. I mean, the colors with the white, it's just so strong. I mean, what's nice is that the pot, you know, white pot will really overpower a tree, but when it's yellow like this, it just pops so much color. Nice big dense base. It's a Norway maple, so the leaves are quite large. You know, I want to get them down to this size, I mean, or smaller. I have a sort of a sacrificial branch here with the hopes that I can get some buds coming out of here, because that's a big internodal gap there. There's no real buds. Maybe some could pop there, but I'm not seeing any. But I am seeing teeny little bud there and a little bud there. So if I'm lucky, I can chop back there in the spring and get that to shoot out. But really nice. I mean, I love this red leaf stalk that's showing up. It just gives it this red feel, and I'm getting this auburn color on this one, which is just so nice. And so next year, yeah, a lot of pinching and producing and just sort of building it out. Here's another Norway maple. All these pots actually I've made with cement, and then a couple of them I've painted. So this I got sort of a baby blue, which is, you know, I don't love it, but just it really adds color when you look at the whole bench. It just sort of adds some nice, like a dynamic feel. It does really overpower the tree, but yeah, here's, yeah, it's just this weird gnarly, you know, reverse taper, you know, so this is definitely going to have to be in the Walter Paul vein of a tree. And I've got it, you know, it's not too bad. The internal lengths are not too bad. I can cut back here, get some ramification. Hard to know, maybe I'll cut back here, just grow this out. And so, you know, it just needs a lot of trim back in the spring and then the growth. And it's interesting, like the color is so on a different time scale than this. And so I'm not sure if that's just tree exposure, like sun exposure or what, but Subalpine fir, really amazing, subtle shifts all the way up the trunk, which is just so characteristic of alpine. You just can't, and that is old. Like, I don't know how old that is, but that is definitely old. These things grow really slow up in the mountains. And all this drop branching, I have like not wired this. I mean, I think I got like 1-2 little wires here, pull those branches down, but for the, you know, and I'll probably do that with this branch too, but for the most part, this is all just from snow load and how it grew. You know, it does need work. It's overgrown. I've reduced the top a few times, but I mean, we'll just see. I'll have to do a real good spring cleaning on this and just reduction. And you can see I'm starting to get this really big, you know, big, broad needles, which I want to avoid. So it's been in that container for, I want to say a couple years, maybe a year, 2 years. And so I think this year, hopefully I'll slow it down a bit. yeah, and then a row of sort of smaller trees. This is a Shimpaku juniper. Found this little nursery out in my area that sold these juniper, you know, what do you call them, like cuttings. And so they have this old bark on them, really small, trim them back, wire it a bunch. I had a branch here that died. Yeah, I mean, this just needs a lot of work, but it's coming along, and you can see where it was in a little, you know, whatever it would have been, 2 gallon, 1 gallon, I guess, growing container, and so its roots are just really bright. You can just see it there, so that needs some work. And that I actually didn't make that pot. That's when I had purchased. It's you know, like a cheap $20 pot. Another juniper, not a Shimpaku, and it says this funky dual trunk. I spray painted this yellow. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I like it. It's nicer than the white, but it just adds color, and so it needs, you know, flowering bonsai or something in there. So, but yeah, and then this has this sort of like these galls on it, and I've wondered, do I just keep cutting them off, pulling them off, or do I kind of keep it as like a feature? I haven't totally decided. But yeah, nice little, these are these $20 nursery stock projects that, you know, sort of instant bonsai, and if there is such a thing. Another subalpine fir, really nice. Again, that subtle, just that subtle movement on this trunk, and really small, like dwarf. I think it had like another primary trunk originally that had died off. So I kind of got in this container. I don't actually love the container. I think it needs something more, less round, less smooth, less sort of, what do you call that? Slender and graceful. Something with a little, I like the edges. I think this is a little bit more of a rugged feel, and so I want a little bit more of a rugged container. And this one's interesting because it's got peat in there and perlite in the container, and so it's way lighter, which is nice. And I put a bunch of like black paint in with it, and so it's much lighter, which is really nice. And then it grows this moss on it, and so it gets this like patinaed look to the container, because moss can kind of grow in on the organic a bit because it holds moisture a lot more than the cement. Western white pine, so it's like a 5-needle pine. You can see I've just brought it down, pushed it in, got lots of ramification in the sort of growth there. You know, it's kind of a strange style with just like a top to it, but it's yeah, I'm liking it. It grew out a lot this year, like longer needles, and so and surprising. I mean, I do have it in a lot of soil, but it's been in there for a long time, and so I'm not sure. I think maybe transplant it next spring. I'm not sure about that one. We'll see. And just another juniper. It's the same as that previous one, same species. Got the galls or the growths on it, and again, some of these, you know, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just take that off and just have it as this sort of top and look more traditional. But there's something nice about this big sort of branch that comes down. It's really overgrown. It's not in its prime look right now, but yeah. And then this is obviously, this is like, oh, it's almost rotted out. You can see this is pretty. I gotta clean that all up, see what I can do with that, because that's just rotting the core. Or maybe I'll leave it. I don't know. I'll just have to see it. But recently transplanted this year into this new container as well. It's painted brown, so it's cement with this brown spray paint I just got and spray painted. And you know, there are some nice, you can get some of these drips on it, which I think I actually kind of like. It reminds me of a glaze in some ways. It's something I'm just used to seeing in pots, and so I'm actually, it's holding out really well for a cement pot that's sprayed. And big Doug fir. Find these really hard to work with. Yeah, I've got this rust, I guess. It's in all the Doug firs in my area, like not just my bonsai, but all the Doug firs in the area, and so it's just something, I mean, maybe I can do a copper spray or something to reduce it next year, but it's really just a something I'm gonna have to deal with, I think, live with in these firs, which is unfortunate because it adds this sort of yellowish feel, which I don't like. But yeah, really happy with this trunk. I mean, these were such long, grown out branches. I've managed to push them back and actually just grow a bunch more. Like these are just, you know, this would have been nothing when I started some 3 or 4 years ago on this tree, and so I really like cut off many of the big branches and used the smallest ones and then worked them around. And I'm getting a little biting in there, so I gotta be careful of that. But yeah, just liking that. I mean, to get the bark on this, it's one of the only species I can get a lot of bark on from the collected trees. Like all the spruce are smooth barked, the Norway maple are obviously smooth barked, the subalpine firs are smooth barked. So I don't have a lot of species that give me really nice bark. I only have so many pines and nothing that has that really old feel. I mean, the spruce will get it, but it just takes time. So